Hey everyone, it's J-Belle and this is Geeky Vices, where I talk about pretty much on a weekly basis whatever bits of pop culture and geekdom I'm into lately. Just so you're forewarned, these are unedited, unrehearsed, and completely unhip. I just watch whatever. It's not even necessarily me always watching it. I'm just talking about whatever I've been into lately, and honestly, I don't care about what's the latest or greatest. I just kind of go with where my impulses take me, and so yeah. Also, to forewarn people, I probably am going to have some spoilers trickle through. I try not to be too spoilery, but it depends on how pure of an experience you want. Like, I don't try ruining like the ending or anything, but like, there are some things where if you want a pure experience watching some of this stuff, maybe watch my other videos afterwards. But otherwise, I try being light about it, but you are forewarned. Anyways, this week it's kind of a little bit more of a broader topic than usual. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of the recent DC anime movies that have been coming out. So there is I can make videos on each one of these movies, honestly, because I've been keeping up with them for years. But I feel like this is one of those things that's been a little bit underrated in recent years, since Marvel's been getting so much attention for all the MCU movies and then the Netflix series and just everything. And then DC, it's mostly been about their CW shows that they've been getting a lot of the attention for. But I will say, which I'm behind on. I've been behind on both the DC and the Marvel TV series, by the way, so don't expect me to be talking about those anytime soon. But yeah, as I said, I'm talking about the animated DC movies of late. So for people who are behind, the DCU has been coming up with some really good animated movies the past several years. They've been basically pumping out like at least like one movie every year. So just this past, basically last week, me and mostly the significant other had a bad day because our D&D game, our weekly D&D game just slowly imploded to not happen. And so we decided to just do a DC marathon to catch up on those movies we've been missing. So we watched, these are all animated, just to emphasize, so that way there's no confusion. We watched the animated Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay. We then watched Justice League, that's a Superman, and then we watched Justice League Reign of the Supermen. So I believe the last two were Justice League ones, like, because it's basically been like three main categories, although there have been some individual branches. So there's basically been a lot of there's been Justice League movies, there was first the Batman movies started around the same, and then there's the Justice League movies, and then there's the Teen Titan movies. So those are the main arcs. There's a few other little branches, like I know there's a Constantine movie, which we haven't watched yet, but yeah. So I'm going to be going off the top of my head over most of these, and honestly, the Batman ones, I can't remember most of their names because, yeah. So with the Batman, let's start with Batman first, because Batman is, so I believe the first one was Son of Batman, which came out years ago, probably about like 5 or 6 years ago, because I remember my living situation back then. So it was around that time, but yeah. Anyways, so that one, it introduces Damian Wayne as the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia Ra's al Ghul's son. I don't remember if her name's just Al Ghul or not, but yeah, it's Ra's al Ghul's daughter. So they have a son. Stuff happens, but basically in the end of it, like, Batman ends up raising Damian, and Damian is already like super badass and becomes Robin, but like he's a very hard to manage Robin because he's been raised by the League of Assassins, so he doesn't have that craving for a normal life. He wants to just do the job. Firstly, and he's super good at I think at the technical skills, kind of like how if you watch Archer, how Archer is actually really good about like actually killing people, like fighting and a lot of like the actual skill sets. It's just not the right mentality. And it's kind of similar with Damian, where it's like he is really good at combat. He's really good at like hunting people down. He's really good about things, but he doesn't necessarily have the moral compass. And he doesn't have that life balance. Like, he doesn't know how to be a regular kid because he's never been that. And he chafes whenever someone tries pushing him in that role because he's been raised to rule. He was raised to be Ra's al Ghul's successor. And so, yeah, as I said, there are several of those movies. I know there was... And the thing is that they keep in mind with those movies that I think part of why I might not be as into those as some of the other more recent DC movies is because they've been very much about a lot of the newer villains and arcs and such. So like I know there's Batman. I know there's Batman versus. I think there's Bad Blood. I can't remember if that came out before Batman versus Robin or not. And then there's the one that has Batwoman and there's a bunch, the guy, I can't remember their names, but like Nightwing's around, and there's also the guy who has the bat suit guy, I can't remember his name, but yeah. There's been a whole bunch of these movies, and as I said, like, I think part of it's just like, it's hard for me to remember what happens in any of the individual movies because they just kind of blur together, and like, I don't feel a strong I don't feel a strong emotional reaction when I hear about like how the stories about the Court of Owls. I'm like, okay, that's nice. It's kind of like how with Batman Beginnings, like I didn't care as much when it was about the crime boss families. Like I grew up with the Batman animated series. Like that was for me what Batman was. Like I'm used to that particular rogues gallery. So sometimes when it goes into like the mob boss direction, or when it goes a little bit too much into like the more recent ones without connecting back to the older classic villains, I don't get as emotionally into it. And also I just get annoyed with Damian because, as I said, like he just does not want to listen whatsoever. So that's the gist of those ones. But yeah, like Batman's solid. I mean, even though it's not Kevin Conroy's the voice, like it's solid. And just as I said, like the Court of Owls, Professor Pig shows up at one point. So it's a lot of these more modern ones. So and then the Justice League movies. There was Justice League War, which is amazing. If you had to watch just one of the newest ones, I would say that one. Like that one's like basically the one where you get to see all of them come together and fight the big bad, who's Darkseid. It's like if you're gonna have one big bad for the Justice League, Darkseid is it. Like even though Brainiac is also a valid one, it's like I'm always gonna be like no, Darkseid is the big bad. And then after there was Sword of Atlantis, which was the weakest one besides like some of the Batman ones. Like the best part about that one was just watching Superman and Wonder Woman interact. And I will say with the Justice League movies, like these incarnations of Wonder Woman are my absolute favorite incarnation of Wonder Woman. Because like I'm not usually a Wonder Woman person. Like I never watched the Linda Carter show, so I don't know how that was. But I grew up with the Batman animated series and the Justice League cartoons, and I always felt like she was a little bit too. I always felt like Hawkgirl was a better like female, like empowered warrior. Like that was like it was a warrior who was a warrior. Versus I felt like Wonder Woman, like she was powerful, but like I felt like she was like too judgy and a little bit too self-righteous. So this one, I can feel it. This incarnation, like she is badass. Like she is strong in herself. Like she's not trying to pretend to be. Like she is knows who she is, and like I feel like there's not as much of the like the like wide-eyed doe or like the man-hating that I felt like sometimes happened with the animated or not with the animated, with the Justice League cartoons or the series. But yeah, so as I said, my favorite one, although it does have my least favorite Green Lantern, I will always be about Jon Stewart. I don't really like Hal Jordan, but I tolerate him because it's Nathan Fillion, and he's also not the main character in any of these. But yeah, so there was that. There was Justice League Dark, where Batman like works together with like Constantine and Zatanna and such. And then there's also like, but going back to the Batman ones, there was a crossover whereas Justice League versus Teen Titans, where Damian sent with the Teen Titans, and stuff obviously happens, and like in this incarnation, Starfire is basically the adult of the Teen Titans. Like Nightwing's not there, and let's see, I know it's Beast Boy and Raven and Blue Beetle, but yeah, and then the next one is Teen Titans, the Judas Contract, which has Tara. So anyone who's watched the Teen Titans series and knows who Tara is, you kind of have a hunch of what's going to probably be coming up down the line. But yeah, that one was really, those were both really good. Although my one problem with the Judas Contract is that it weirdly had a long bit of the movie, like the intro, like be about Starfire's arrival, and it felt like there was no follow through. Like, why are you featuring Starfire? Like, is she going to be the traitor at the end? Because it's called Judas Contract, and it's like, it just felt a little disconnected. Like, it's like, it was a great scene, but not the right time. And then, let's see. Oh, yeah. And then the Justice League ones, like I said, there was the Justice League Dark, and then there's also, and then which was enjoyable. Like, I liked it. That was solid. But yeah, like, we watched Death of Superman and then Reign of Superman. So if you watch Death of Superman, it's kind of like the older DC movie where it was like Superman Doomsday. So it is hint. It relates to that, especially, I mean, which I figure if you hear like Death of Superman, you probably assume Doomsday's gonna be involved. And I do like this incarnation of Doomsday because some of them will be where he's an Earth-made, genetically modified thing, like in the live-action movie, which I'm like, no, that's not right. But no, I like this incarnation. I like his origin, but I would recommend if you're going to watch Death of Superman, rent Reign of the Superman also, because that movie just, I mean, basically all these movies are good about kind of like leaving a clue about what's going to happen leading to the next movie, like, but like at the end of Justice League War, like there's a hint that led to what happens with Throne of Atlantis, but with Death of Superman and Reign of Superman, like it really picks up, and I think like there's so much like we notice and like picked up on and appreciate because we had literally just finished watching the previous movie like just a few minutes in between. So yeah, I would definitely recommend watching those in tandem. They were both great. I think it's hard to say which one's better because like they are both really good. Like I would say if you're gonna watch any of these, I would say Justice League War, Death of Superman, and Reign of Superman are all the ones I would definitely most highly recommend. I did enjoy the Justice League Dark. Let's see, I did enjoy both the Teen Titan ones. It's just the Batman ones, like all kind of just blur together to me. Like I would say those are lower tier, and then I'd say the weakest out of all of these with this particular set is the Throne of Atlantis. Like I would say that is the weakest out of any of these movies. But yeah, like Death of Superman, like it builds up the way you want to, and it builds up great. Like it has like the tension, and it's epic, like the way it actually happens, and you feel the impact. And then with the Reign of Superman, like you're not sure who's to root for, and like it all kind of works together, and it's very satisfying. My only issue is I wish they showed it a little bit, like they showed a little bit, gave it a little epilogue hint about what happens with Superboy. They don't do the same thing with Man of Steel. I'm like, no, Man of Steel was pretty involved. What's going on with him now? But yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, like I said, watch those movies back to back. That is my only ones where I'm like really like these ones need to be watched together. And then it's kind of separate. There's been a couple of these that have been separate, like the Arkham, Assault on Arkham, and was kind of like a standalone. And then the second one, Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay, was standalone. Although it did kind of tie back to Flashpoint Paradox, which came out week before any of the movies I've mentioned previously. Which Flashpoint Paradox was good. Like that was enjoyable. Like it definitely, you gotta be prepared to not have your normal image of your superheroes. Like you gotta be prepared to have them be out of character or reinvented or something different about them. Like that's the whole point of that movie. So just brace yourself. But yeah, like that ties into what's happening with Hell to Pay, which was fun. Although I'm I still not entirely sold on Harley's voice acting. I'm just the original one, like the 90s voice acting was just so solid for me. Like, it just seems off to me. And I feel like it can't be canon because way too many named characters died. I'm not gonna say who dies, but just like way too many. And it just also feels like when you finally find out why everything's happening, like it feels just a touch lackluster of an explanation. But it's a fun movie. You watch it for the fun of it. Another standalone. Sorry, I'm trying to get these all packed in really quickly, just because like there's so many of them, but they're so fun. The one I really, really love. Like, if you love the 90s Batman animated series, watch Batman and Harley Quinn. It is a total throwback. They got Kevin Conroy back. Yeah, they got. There was no. Yeah, they got. Yeah, so they got him. Like, they got a lot of like the people like involved with the 90s versions back, and like it's fun. Like, it's the only part I don't like is like there's this part where Harley's like has this singing like karaoke moment where I'm like, where I don't even care about the song, and it's just like it just goes on a little too long. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty solid. As Poison Ivy, yeah, that one's fun, and I love, and that one, watch for all the credits. Like, the end, the epilogue is worth it. It is amazing. So yeah, that one's fun. If like you love the 90s Batman anime series, it's a total throwback to that. And also, I'm a big fan of Nightwing. Like, I adore Nightwing. Like, for me, Dick Grayson is always the best Robin. You can't convince me otherwise. So yeah, so it's great that he's also prominent in that. But yeah, if you love the 90s version, if you love Harley Quinn, that's the movie to see. I can't recommend it enough. It's fun. Let's see. And then I know that, it looks like their next one's going to be another standalone. Like, it looks like it's going to be the Justice League versus the Fatal Five. So that one looks interesting, but it looks like it's going to be going back to more to the 90s, like to the 90s Justice League or early 2000s versus continuing DCU. But yeah, watch these. If you're a DC fan, these are fun. Enjoy them. And I feel like they're just so under the radar. It's like, no, people need to know about them. Spread the word. Spread the Batman, Justice League, all that geekdom, superhero comic book joy. You know, it's like just, yeah. So yeah, anyways. Also, sorry, I forgot. There's a couple other standalones that have come out recently. So Gotham, Lamplight, I believe. I can't remember. It's the one that's fighting the Victorian one, where it's basically Victorian era Batman's hunting Jack the Ripper, and it's definitely standalone. I would say I don't like how it's interesting, although I hate how it ends. If you watch it, you'll understand why. But I feel like it killed off some characters you would not have expected to die, and I feel like it changed certain characters too much, where it didn't feel like it was that character anymore. So, as I said, if you watch it, you'll see why. But I'd say take it with a grain of salt. Just know that it's not going to be. For me, it's not the most satisfying. It's mostly if you want to watch like a Batman Sherlock Holmes type of thing, and that you're willing to be open-minded about how the characters get unveiled or like play out. Sorry, I was trying to find the right word, but I would say the trippiest Batman thing I've ever seen. And I will admit I haven't been keeping up with the different Batman incarnations because there's so many, and I'm always behind on everything anyways. But yeah, the trippiest thing ever is that there's this Japanese Batman movie that came out called Batman Ninja, where basically Batman and like a bunch of the main Rogues Gallery people get sent back to feudal Japan. It's trippy. I mean, the character designs are cool, and like the art, like the animation is pretty cool, but like it's just so crazy over the top because basically a bunch of the major Batman villains, like they end up getting these feudal castles, and we find out the feudal castles actually turn into mechas, and later on the mechas will join together into an even gianter like palace mecha, and Batman gets a mecha too, where it's made out of bats and monkeys. And I'm skipping so much because there's so much little trippy things because I'm trying to be spoiler light. Although there's one, but yeah, it's just like it's so weird. It's like, okay, so that's part why I say it's the trippiest thing. So if you're looking for a really, random Batman experience, so that one is it, or one where you might be in an altered state of mind. That would probably be a fun one to watch. But yeah, otherwise, I would also say that, yeah. And also, there's one point where like it changes art style really weirdly and suddenly, and you're kind of like, wait, what's going on? And it kind of makes sense when they finish throwing through, but it just felt so kind of like a throwaway. But yeah, it's fun, it's trippy. It's just I probably would not watch it again except for to watch it with people just to go in planning on laughing. So yeah, it's one of those movies where you go in expecting to laugh at it rather at over the top is rather than laughing because it's intended to be funny. So yeah, all right. Anyways, enjoy. Get some more DC watching out there. All right, until next time. See you guys later. Bye.